Are you ready to record?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
You're recording already?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Before I even introduce the podcast, let me just say that this is the biggest criminal I've had on this podcast since I started shooting, man.
I'm not a criminal, sir.
Okay, you know what, yeah. Criminal with a K, you get. Welcome to the Donawon Podcast. I have like a brother here, you know. I don't really have a lot of siblings in the industry, but this man single-handedly told me what actually changed my life, man. Have I told you this before?
I don't think so.
I haven't? Okay, we'll get to that. But yeah, man, this is my brother. Y'all know him as Sarz. I know him as Nicodemus.
Broski.
Broski! This is overdue, man, my G. Like,
Yeah,
I'm so happy
I've
you're here, bro.
been talking about doing this for a minute.
Facts,
So I'm glad I'm here today.
Bro, I'm happy you're here. It's raining right now.
Mhm.
It's 2:51 p.m. Lagos is mad. I literally even just like finished doing some hectic stuff last night, and as I am right now, that's why I'm wearing shades because, bro, I'm shattered.
What you do?
Bro, I can't tell you that. I'll tell you that on camera, but I was busy. So,
Oiling.
yeah, well, partial oiling. It wasn't full oiling because I wasn't 100%.
Grease.
Bro, we're pouring right now. I got my bro Sarz here with me. Bro, like, first of all, how you been, man?
For the most part, I've been good. Actually, I don't know, to be fair. Yeah, it's a mix, of emotions.
Straight.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay.
mix of emotions.
So first of all, congrats.
Thank you.
You and Loji just dropped an EP that is buzzing, fam.
Yeah,
It's buzzing.
It's actually buzzing way more than I expected.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember that time we spoke at my cousin's here, and you were talking about like how you were having issues with like pushing it on YouTube just based off like ads, but
Yeah.
just organically, yeah.
Organically, you just picked up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And Wiz is showing so much support.
So much support.
So,
Don Jazzy,
Everybody.
everybody. The support has been so like overwhelming.
How did you find it? I mean, for some context, I heard the tape. When I heard the tape?
In London.
In London, but when was that? Last year, during the pandemic.
September or August.
I think it was before.
No. I mean, this was like probably after that NSARS.
Yeah. I think you might
Yeah.
actually. So I was in London when I first met Loji with Sarz, and like when he played me the tape, I was actually quite pleasantly surprised because one thing about me is I love distinct tones. So when I heard Loji's tone and I heard what you guys were doing, I was like, okay, this is about to be oily. You feel me? So like, where did you find it? First of all, we're going to talk about you, like proper. You
Yeah.
understand? But let's talk about what's current. So how did you find Loji?
Through a mutual friend, Davido's lawyer, Bobo. Yeah.
This is random.
Yeah. Now me and Bobo were really good friends.
Yeah.
So I think Loje's dad has been going back and forth with Loje about not doing music, or he wants to do music and he just doesn't really like trust, the choices he makes, like musically and everything. So he called Bobo and was like, yo, I'm looking for the best producer to work with my son. Yeah. Bobo was like, there's only one guy. There's only one guy. So he hit me up and he was like, oh, there's this guy I need to meet, I need to work with and everything. And I met him. I was like, oh, let me listen to your music. I heard the music he was making before was cool, but one thing that stood out was his tone. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I think I can do something with this tone. And I told him, like, don't put pressure on me, give me time, let me like bring him up to speed to where I think he needs to be musically.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like artist development, for almost a year before we put out the music. Yeah.
I remember that, and I also remember some of the conversations we had in London as well, just regarding like artist development.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's talk about like how you even pick artists to work with first of all, because prior to Loji, you've worked with people like World, you've worked with people like Nini. I mean, you've worked with everyone really, but I'm talking about like projects.
Yeah.
Like projects like, I don't even know if I should have said what I said, but like I know you've dropped with World. You've played me 2 other tapes with 2 other artists that I wouldn't call.
Yeah.
One of them is an artist someone people don't even know, but his tone is. Bro,
Yeah.
when I want drops here, guy, I said, what? But like, how do you like? What makes you go like, yo? I can mess with this guy off the strength of their tone without really factoring their brand.
I think that just comes from the fact that I always want to try. I never want to like be in a box. I feel like just being in a box is boring. Just doing the same thing over and over is boring. I always want to push the envelope. So when I hear someone, I think like, yo, what is your version of this person? I try to create my own version of everybody I work with if they give me the chance.
So well then, basically.
In my own way, the way I feel like people should hear them. That's what I do. But not every artist has that patience for that. So that's why I only like work on projects with specific people that actually give me creative freedom to do. And we'll meet where we think, oh, we've made great music. But with other people, some people just want a beat. Some people just feel like, oh, I guess that's without whoever I was on it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's a guess game. But yeah, that's how I choose people I work with. Once I just hear like something that sticks, maybe from the tone or their writing or something, I try to like visualize what my version of this artist will be like, and we'll work on that. Yeah,
that's epic, bro. That's epic. So let's take it back, like way back. Like, okay, so I'm just gonna say from my perspective, the first time I ever heard Sarz on the beat, right, was Kakobi Chicken. Like, I'm sure I probably heard other beats that you had made.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Bro, see, first of all, you see that Kakobi Chicken beat till tomorrow, if they play it, boss break.
Criminals.
Some of them are criminals. But like, bro, like, okay, Reminisce. Let's talk about Reminisce because we can't talk about you without not talking about Reminisce.
Yeah.
So, how did that relationship like start? Would you say he was one that kind of like gave you a segue in a way?
At the time I met Reminisce, he was, if I remember correctly, I think he was ready to work on an album with ID Kabasa. But
what year was this, by the way?
This was 2007. But I think ID Kabasa's success with Nice, Gongwaso, and that album, made him like really busy. So he couldn't like create enough time that Reminisce wanted. So I was working at Jabless's studio at that time, and Jabless is good friends with Reminisce. So it was like, there's this producer that's always in my studio. This guy Sarz, I should try him. So I think Reminisce just came. We were like, who is this guy? Let me just see what's going on. And we made one song. The first song we made is called One Chance. The video is on YouTube. The video is so dead.
Are you in the video?
Yes.
Okay. Check that out.
Yeah, and the song became number 1 on top 7 jams at 7 on Rhythm. I don't know if you know, you're Gen Z.
Bro,
yeah.
No, I'm millennial. Why are you doing like this? You guys.
Yeah, but if your song is on that radio show, it's like it's a big deal. Yeah, if your song is number 1 on that radio show, it's like everybody listens to that radio show. So and that was the first that was the first song we made, and it became number 1 on that top 7 jams. So I just knew like, okay, this guy, I have to keep working with this guy. And also, he was the only person that stuck with me even when there were hotter producers at that time. Because in 2007, I was a nobody. I was just, this young teenager with a dream that thinks, he has something to offer. Yeah, but most people I worked with then would take the music we make and go reproduce it with, seasoned producers. Yeah. So and that really like hurts me a lot.
Oh, how many times did that happen to you roughly?
Countless, a lot of times. Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, even some songs I don't want to mention and stuff, but a lot of times, yeah. They would make the song and be like, it's nice. The next thing you'd hear maybe a Terry G version, or the song will come out and you think it's your beat, and you hear like it's produced by Terry G, or produced by K Solo, or produced by I can't think of any other names now, but they were, because they were really hot at that time. Yeah. So, but Reminisce, whatever beat I made, he stuck with it. Even the hip hop beat, anything. It was just like, this is the beat I'm using. I don't know if it was a personal decision for him, or he just really liked, the music I was making. But I mean, I really respected him for that, and he always made sure he paid me.
Where?
Yeah, for my services. He didn't pay me a lot, but he would tell me like, yo, this is what I have and I'll pay you. Whereas a lot of people back then would take me for a ride, just use me and, not pay me for anything.
Yeah. Wait, okay, before we even get there, what made you go into producing music? Because most people want to just be artists, right? But what made you go, I want to make beats? Especially during a time when that wasn't popular.
I've always loved music. I could have been anything. At the time in life I was playing basketball really well. I think if I pursued that, not in this country, because this country they kill dreams. Yeah. But I feel like if I was in America, I could have pursued that professionally or something. So at this time in my life, we weren't really doing anything. I had this group of friends. One of them makes music and raps, and the other people in the group rap. We were always hanging out, at my house. We would play board games, we would chill. I mean, my house was like the go-to spot once it's 10 a.m. when nobody has anything to do. Just come to the house, talk about music. You know how it is now, just boys in the house and everything. Yeah. So I was always interested in producers. I was a big fan of Timbaland, Dr. Dre, Pharrell. I would only listen to the songs if it's those guys that produced it. Yeah, and I could memorize beats. If I hear a Timbaland beat, I literally recreate it with my mouth, and it's so detailed and everything. So this friend of mine, his name is James. He said, yo, if you're spending so much time with music, maybe you should just try producing. So he gave me FL Studio, and with no music knowledge or anything, I was just very computer savvy. I installed the software. It was actually a demo version, and I started making music. And the first few beats I made, some guys in my estates then bought the beats, and they paid me 3,000 naira. Yeah, they paid me 3,000 naira for the beat.
And so you thought you were doing nonsense?
No, I didn't think I was doing nonsense. I thought I was doing it, and for people to pay you for something you enjoy doing. And in context, 3,000 in this was probably in 2005 or so. 3,000 naira then was a lot of money. 3,000 naira then, before they banned importation of clothes and stuff, where you could go to the boutique and buy pair of jeans and a nice t-shirt. So in my head I'm like, wow, I'm making bucks.
Got buy clothes.
Yeah, I said, my parents would not give me 3K.
Facts.
If I tell my mom I'm broke or I don't have money, she'll give me 500 naira. And no, I said and it's actually money. This is when bread was 20 naira.
Yeah.
I
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
when cupcake was 10 naira. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so in my head I was like, yo, wow, okay, I think I can actually do this for real. So I started, spent day and night producing and everything. And also when I watched TV, I see what's happening on Music Africa, Silverbird. I felt like, yo, if this is the kind of music these guys are making, I feel like I have a huge chance. I think I can actually make music better than what I'm hearing on TV.
Facts.
The only person that made music that I was like, okay, these guys are dope, was Don Jazzy then and OJB. Yeah, those two guys. But every other person, as in any other song that I heard, I was like, oh, I think I can do this, I can do it better or anything. Even though maybe I wasn't that good at that time, but I felt so confident in what I was doing that I can do this. And that's where my journey started.
Yeah. So when you were in the studio with Reminisce those days, right? Which other artists were you around?
It was a lot of people, and that's how I got my moniker, my name, because my music spread like the SARS virus. So it was just like
revelation right now.
It was just like oh, I made a song for Reminisce. A lot of us just out here to like, man, I think I want a beat from this guy. Then I'll make a beat for him. Rugged Man heard it, was like, who made this beat? I really want to work with this guy. I'll make a beat for Rugged Man, and Shank heard it, and from Shank to that, like it just kept like spreading like that, little by little, and before you know,
you produce Kondo.
Yes.
Jesus. God, I'm friends with the legend, though. This guy. We'll talk about the green in a bit.
So that's how I met different people just from my works, and also with the style of my music. Then I didn't really care about the songs. I really cared about the beats. So I didn't necessarily make great songs, but the beats stood out.
Slapped.
Yeah. So anyone that hears the song, they're not really interested in the song, because sometimes the songs don't really like come together the way it should. They're like, but who made these beats though? And I'm like, and people are like, oh, I want to work with this guy because that beat is crazy. The beats always stand out. Then I'll release songs, and on Twitter, instead of the song or the artist to trend, Sarz will trend. Because they're like, this beat is so sick, this beat is so crazy. So it actually took me a while to learn how the art of like making music, not just like making beats.
Like basically producing.
People
actually don't know that you don't know how to play instruments.
No.
Yeah. So you're actually a proper like sound curator / oilist, basically. Yeah, man. Bro, the grain. How did that happen? Because you know what Kondo was. I don't need to tell you. Everyone knows what Kondo was. Kondo was a wave. Kondo was basically like what record is doing crazy right now. Bro, it was the hottest record end of. So how did that happen?
This was after I worked with Shank for his first album, King Kong album that had Julie and I think one song with Akon Shorty. This was after working with him. His record label Starville wanted to sign that grain, so they brought that grain to the studio, and they were like, oh, Sarz, you should work with this guy, we want to sign him and everything. So that day he said, oh, he has this song, and I remember him like just beating the drum, with beating the table with his hand, like, it was just, then I started making the beats. I made the beats there and then. He recorded the first verse and the chorus, and I know I kept playing that over and over. I was like, oh, this is so sick, like this song is so mad. Then Starville dropped the ball. I guess they couldn't make the deal work or something, so the song was stuck with me for months, maybe almost a year, and nothing happened. So it was just one of those songs that I always play in the studio, but I know like will never come out. And after a while, Dagreen hit me up and says, oh, he's completing his album by himself and he really wants that song, but he doesn't really have a lot of money, and he wants to complete it. And I was like, oh cool, I really love the song, let's do it. And we finished the song. He did the third verse, and I sent him like the data, got it mixed and everything. And that was it. The album came out. And, unlike now where you see like real-time feedback, back then you don't really get real-time feedback. So you can't really tell what song they're feeling or not, apart from like the song they're playing on radio. And the first single of the album was Pom Pom. So that was what they was playing on radio. Then I remember he had a concert at Oniru Beach, and he invited us, and that was the first time I heard Kondo outside, and it went wild.
How did it make you feel?
It went wild. I to be fair, I can't remember the feeling, but I know like that's my first like smash hit. I've made other songs that people knew that jam, that's a jam, that's a mad jam, but the first smash hit that everybody like if you go to the clubs, there's no nights that they won't play that song 3-4 times. So it was like a crazy feeling.
Bro, that's epic. So the thing is, I'm going to jump timelines because, bro, if we were to talk about your incremental growth, man, you've worked with so many people. Because every time I think, okay, how should I take this podcast? I'm just like, man. So let me just start with like prominent things. So Wiz, right? How did that happen? How did you guys link up?
So you see, like I said, that my music is literally like word of mouth. It keeps spreading.
Yeah.
It was from Kundo. After Kundo, Sagi and Wiz came to my studio. It's like, oh, Kundo is fire, bro. This was before Superstar.
Yeah. I know. I think Wiz told me when we talk.
Yeah. I was like, Kundo is fire, bro. Like, you know, I really love to work with you and stuff. And I remember we made like 2 songs. Like he freestyled and I was like, oh mad, so dope and stuff. And
you were bigger than him then?
Basically, I guess because
he had Just Fast Money, Fast Cars with MI. Had he dropped that then?
I don't even know if he had dropped that then, but I knew like he was signed to EME, and you know Banky had what song did he have? It's either Strong Thing or From Ebute Meta, one of those songs where it was buzzing. So, and you know everybody kept saying like, oh, this is the next thing, but and also at that time I really loved, you know, what he was doing, and I wanted to work with him, but at that time I've been burnt so much in the industry. Yeah. So I remember I charged them 50k for a beat. Yeah. And they came back a few days after. Said, you know, that's, you know, above their budget. They can't pay 50k for a beat. And me, I was like, if you don't have my money, I'm not really moving. I'm not interested. So we didn't get to work then. But that was our first meeting. Yeah. Then, you know, he made Superstar album with, you know, Sam Clef, Mastercraft, and, you know, other guys. And he became a superstar. So from there, we started seeing at clubs. You know, we'll see at Rehab. And I have songs that bang in the clubs. He has songs that bang in the clubs. And, he'll see me like, oh, yeah, you don't want to work with me. But, you know, then he got bigger to the point where everybody wanted a verse from Wiz. Yeah. So all the people I was working with wanted to do a remix with Wizkid. So Wizkid would tell me like, yo, even if you don't give me a beat, I'm still killing your beats. I'm still killing your beats outside. Then after that, I moved to Ogudu. And at that time, Wiz was also staying at Ogudu, so we're practically neighbors. Yeah. And that's where our relationship like grew strong, because, you know, I was always going to the house, we're always making music, we're always just working, and from there we're just like trying out music. Yeah.
That's dope, bro. So
is the story different from mine?
No, it's actually very similar. It's just like Sarz been the fun for me before. That's what he basically said. But like yours is more detailed, but it's basically say how I used to fall for you before. Shout out Wiz, man. Wiz is a legend. So yeah, bro, listen, we can go on and on.
Oilest.
Bro, listen, he's the poorest.
Yeah.
Wiz, but he's trying for all of us. But yeah, fast forward again now, right? Because I'm gonna build off this Wiz relationship. Come Closer. Actually, before Come Closer, One Dance, then Come Closer. Just tell me how that oiled itself to become what it was in terms of you working with Drake and then working just in general.
With One Dance, it wasn't expected or anything. I didn't even think much of it, because it was just one of those by the way things where it was like, oh, it has this song with Drake, but the production isn't like done and everything. You know, do you think you can do something to it? And I was like, let me hear it. So, and literally had the chorus and the Kyla sample. Yeah. And I was like, cool. So I did what I had to do. You know, I added some drums, I did guitars, I did some parts of the music, and I gave it back to Wiz, and Wiz was like, oh, he likes it. That, you know, he'll send it to them. Personally, I didn't even think much of that song. I didn't really like the song like that. I just did it, and I didn't think like it would become a thing. I thought it was one of those things that they would hear and they probably wouldn't really, you know, like it or anything. Fast forward to 2016 April, and it was just like, oh, they're releasing the song. I was like, okay, no problem now. So they put out the song. I think it was that song and Pop Style, the one with Jay-Z. Yeah. And a few weeks after, song is number 1. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So it wasn't like for me, it wasn't orchestrated or anything. It's just like an opportunity came and I did my part and I just,
oiled it.
It's like it's just like that. Then with Come Closer, it's also another beat I made on my own. And one of the nights I went to Wiz's house, was like, oh, do you have any music? Play me something. I played in different beats, so it was like, oh, he likes his beats. And he freestyled the chorus, the baby come closer, and the first verse and everything. And I remember he said, out of all the songs that he's done today, that one is his favorite. And I was like, cool, no worries. Yeah. I mean, because I'm just like, okay, like, yeah. Then I went to LA to link up with Wiz. And went to the studio. And he played literally the same. It's literally the same reaction. I mean, not the same. The same reaction from the video I posted of Loj hearing Wiz's verse for the first time. Yeah. That he didn't know Wizkid's verses on it.
That's what Wiz did to you.
Yeah, because he just played the song, and I have like the reference of the song where it's just like Wiz, first verse, second verse, and chorus, and the song ends. Yeah. Do you get? So that's the version I know. Yeah. So we're just in the studio, and next thing I heard like two mixed up in drum, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, so it's just one of those moments in my career that made me like feel so proud of myself and say like, how far I've come, how far the little moves we've made has impacted so much in the Afrobeat community and everything.
Bro, trust me, like what I want to segue into right now is probably what I want people to learn the most. So obviously when you break into that international market, right, that's when you have to structure your P properly, right? So, because another thing is this, most people in the music industry are trying to blow like artists, right? But if you're not really performing on a stage, there's limitations to what that can be in terms of blowing. But you have managed to carve a niche as a producer, but your brand is so prominent, like you're an artist, right? And an attribute to that is just the way you structured your life and the way you move with yourself, basically. So, I would like you to like educate producers how they should structure their P with or without like the big hits, because preparation meets opportunity at the end of the day. You don't want to do that too late. So talk on that. From like publishing, licensing, all of that.
Such a deep question.
Yeah.
First off, I would say I don't think anything with me is planned. I think I'm just prepared, when the opportunity comes, like you said. But to people looking on the outside, even to some of my really close friends, they feel like if I'm doing something, it has to. I mean, there's some orchestration in the background. Like they don't feel like, oh, I'm just trying. They feel like, no, they say, I never try. I know what I'm doing, and that's not true. I actually don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I just believe so much in it, and I just put my all. I put my best foot forward all the time. Another thing for producers, I think you should invest in yourself. Always look for what's new. Look for new ways to do the same things. Look for new ways to even do new things as well. But most producers actually don't invest in themselves. They make some money and they just use that money for other things. Maybe to look good or anything. But I mean, also looking good is part of it. Investing in yourself as in self-care, learning more about the business, so you actually know what you're doing and how to move forward. Like being a systemic where you can look at the industry from a bird's eye view, and you literally can find that point where you can pull and all the other moving parts of the industry would follow.
Yeah.
So, but if you're busy, I mean, and everything, I feel like this stage where I am now, I can do those things.
Yeah.
I feel like in your production journey, you know, in the first stage, you should really like churn out as much music as you can to become like a household name where people like know you and be like, oh, this is the go-to guy for hits. And once you've established that, you can literally do anything with your brand. You know, you can be more visible with your brand. You can, you know, do strategic collaborations. You know, there's so much. There's like the limits are endless, but everything is in stages. And I feel, you know, sometimes some producers get it wrong where they don't want to like put in the work. They just want like the fame real quick. And they also should know that your breakout year might be your hottest year. It's not going to be like that forever. I feel like sometimes you're only hot for a year, and after that, you know, it's not like you're not hot. It's old news. Yeah. Like if I make a track with anybody and it bangs, you know, even though people say, whoa, that beat is crazy, Sarz did something crazy, it's like we knew that already. Yeah. It's not going to gain me like followers. My followers are not going to spike because I made a new beat that's crazy. Yeah. But in your breakout year, your followers will spike because they're like, oh my god, is this new guy? Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and people get caught up in that, feeling like they'll be like that forever. So you also need to look for, you know, ways to reinvent yourself after your breakout year. I don't know how to. I feel like everybody's path is different, but you need to look for something to reinvent yourself all the time. You know, I think that's very, very important. Yeah. And also just learning about, you know, the music business is so important, especially like when you progress in your career, when you start making like you know, other headstone like just outside your territory, like, you know, around the world and everything. It's so important to know networking as well, you know, keeping relationships is so important.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's so important. And being that's probably even one of the most important things, like, you know, being true to yourself. But I also understand like it's hard to be true to yourself at the early stages of your career because you might miss out on certain opportunity. But finding that balance, you know, with what people want and what's true to you, I think is one of the things that helped me build my mark in this industry. So anything I do is genuine to me, but it also meets at a sweet spot that people also appreciate it. Yeah, because you can be true to yourself and be alien to everyone else. That's not going to work. That's not going to help you. So you also have to find that, you know, middle ground. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, we're making art and it's an expression of how we feel for people. Yeah. It's not an expression of how we feel for ourselves. If you're making commercial music, it's an expression of how you feel for people. So, you know, as much as you love it, you know, you have to find that sweet spot. Yeah.
Bro, I mean, everything you say right now, I can relate with just from a holistic standpoint, based on what the music industry is. You know. So let me fast forward a bit, right? Because like I said earlier in this podcast, you have a history of actually just working with different specific talents. So that's what I really want to focus on.
Yeah.
World and Nini Ola. Okay. But I'll start with Nini.
Okay.
So Nini is a very interesting case for me because, bro, that house sound, like she made it very prominent here.
Yeah.
But you are behind that. So we're about to literally talk on like your versatility as well. How did you know that would work with her? Like just based off, like how did you know what would work with that? Because you produced that sound.
I didn't know. I just tried. I didn't know like that would work or not, but I was willing to try because at that time all the female artists in the industry were just making Afro beats. They were just making songs they think people would like, and not just showcasing other talents, like, you know, maybe their vocal range, their writing, anything.
How do you guys meet?
It was after when she finished Project Fame. She said she went on Google to search for the best producers in Nigeria, and she said my name kept coming up. Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Said my name kept coming up, and she was like, okay, she will try working with me. So she called my manager, which is her manager now. Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. Michael, my guy. Yeah.
Michael, you're supposed to come on this podcast, actually. Facts.
Yeah, actually should. He probably has a lot to say.
Too much.
Yeah. So, I heard her voice, and I was thinking, how can I keep her voice as it is, but also make it enjoyable for other people? And it came to me, it was like house, Afro house. The beats are groovy, and you can sing, like proper sing on it. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna try this with her. And we made the first song, Ibadi. Yeah. And Ibadi, it came out, people didn't really get it, and it started growing and growing and growing, and before you know it, it became like a favorite in the clubs and everything, and it started working. So she got really excited that that sound, you know, is working, and it makes her like very unique. So we kept working on more singles. The next single I think was Soke, and that worked too. So after that, you know, she was like, yo, okay, Sarz, you know, forget, I'm not working with anyone else. You're just doing all of my stuff. Then I think after that song we produced Maradona, and that was the turning point.
Bro, listen. That record, Till Forever, cemented in time. They need to actually frame that in the museum, because trust me, the way you started with the chords and just the bass line and just everything, bro, like, that's when I was like, damn, my friend is actually special, fam. Bro, so yeah, man, that's please continue. I interrupted you.
Yeah, so after Maradona, we were like, okay, yo, just like, I feel like that's what like cemented that Afro house sound here. And from there, like, everybody just gave it to her, like, okay, Nini's on her own lane and she can do whatever she wants to do. Like, she can make Afro house music like that. But, you know, the inception of everything is just thinking of how to keep all the details in her voice, and you can literally hear that she has a voice she can sing, and also finding a way to engage Nigerians. And I think I just said, let me try this Afro house genre in a Nigerian way, and you know, it worked. So they say you don't grow in your comfort zone. So and that's one thing I believe in. Like, I'm always like willing to try something new. Yeah, always willing. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You fail, then you try again. Like, yeah.
Epic. World. That's a whole different experience on its own. Trouble, man. I remember the listening party.
Yeah.
Bro. Man, you don't walk.
We've tried.
Bro, how did that come about? How did you link up with World?
World was with our mutual friend in LA, Koch.
Oh, I know Koch.
Yeah.
His Koch is nice right now.
Yeah, he's nice. Yeah.
Koch, you didn't even shout me. Anyway, continue.
Koch linked me up with him. We went to the studio, and according to World, he didn't really know who I was. He knew me as the producer of Come Closer. Yeah, so he thought, oh, there's this new Nigeria producer that produced Come Closer, you should work with, or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he played me his music, which is phenomenal. But I mean, at that point, like, once I hear anything that interests me, I'm thinking like, how can you make this work? That's what I'm always thinking. Like, how can you make this work? So I was already thinking of that in my head, and I was like, okay, he has such a strong voice. It's like such an amazing voice, and it's very unique tone. I was like, how can I make this work? So his session was over before I could play beats. So we linked up another time, and I played him a few beats. And Trouble was one of the few beats I played to him. It wasn't even done or anything. And I was just like, you know what, let's try this. And I was like, okay, cool. He was freestyling something that I like, really love those melodies. And I think the next day, he just sent me the song, almost everything. And I heard the song and I was like, wow, like this is such a beautiful record. Like it's so good. And at that point, I made the decision. I was like, you know what, let's just make an EP. I don't think one song will cut it with us. And he was like, cool, let's just do it. Let's go. So it took us almost 2 years to work on that EP. Not because we didn't have most of the music, but I was also trying to make him understand that we have to meet halfway, and he has to like cater to his fan base that actually like love him, like, you know, which is like Nigerians and everything. So I was looking for how to make the music connect. You know, we went back and forth with a lot of songs. I'll tell him like, these melodies are amazing, but I don't think it would connect. Let's try this, let's try that. And it was so frustrating because he's also someone that is very hands-on. He knows what he wants. He knows how he wants to make his music. So trying to convince someone like that is so difficult. So I'm like, yo, no. Especially with the song Mad. Like the first version, it had the chorus, but the verses were very
singy.
Not necessarily singy. It was very pop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, this is cool, but we need to change it. And he was like, no, he's not changing it. It's not changing. I was like, we have to, like, we literally have to change it. And today he's glad, like, he made those changes. But, you know, that process of working with him, he also like brought me to his own world. You know, I learned so much from, you know, him just creating music, him writing music and everything as well. And he also like knows how to like record his vocals to sound like really clean and everything. Yeah, so just working with him is so amazing. And the project came out and he just, you know, did the madness as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that whatever you do with artists, because of, I mean, you've explained your process and how you visualize how you can connect. Bro, that in itself is a gift. You feel me? So kudos to you on that, man. I want to talk about bad energy. How did that happen?
Bad energy, how did it happen?
People don't know that Grace is your manager, bro.
And people that know.
Okay, yeah. Well,
but yeah.
Skepta's manager is also Sarz's manager. That's just some info that. But yeah, how did that happen?
Bad energy. How did bad energy happen? It was by mistake. I was in LA with Wiz. He was working with High Dollar Sign on a few songs. So they were in the studio all day. And we were working at this home studio. So the house is literally, you know, just a few meters away, and the studio is in the same compound. So I got bored, you know, because they were just in the studio all day, and I've been there all day with them. So I just like left and went to the house and I was chilling. And I came back to get my laptop at the studio. I just wanted to collect my laptop and leave. I wasn't in the mood to work or anything. So I got to the studio, took my laptop. Then I heard one of the songs that Wiz and Ty worked on, and it was so good. Like I was just caught up in that moment. I was just listening to the song, you know, over and over. And the next thing, you know, Skepta and some of his boys, you know, walked into the studio and everything. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this session or whatever is about to happen, because I've heard some gist before that, you know, maybe I think they've tried to like Skepta and Wiz has tried to work on songs before, but it just hasn't like really like worked out because they've not found their common ground. Because I think Wiz likes a lot of melody and Skepta likes a lot of like dark, like aggressive beats. So they've just not found the common ground. So I was just like, I'm not the one that see people come and Anyway, so I was just about to leave the studio. Then I just heard Wiz say, Sarz, do you have any beats for us? And I was like, so I was just like, let me just try. So I was playing a few beats, and I played Bad Energy beats. At this time, it wasn't really Bad Energy, just the drums, but the chords were different. The chords were very melodic. Skepta heard it and was like, oh, leave this beat, let it play. But I don't like the chords. Can you change the chords to like something darker and like, And at that point, I was like, Sarz, you see why you should have left. You see why you should have left. Now you have to work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, okay. Then I tried, trying different things, and next thing I came up with a bam, 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 dun, 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 dun. Then he heard that. And I was like, I like that, leave that. So I just left the beats on loop. And, he listened to the beats for like an hour, just playing on loop, and I was like, yo, I'm ready to record. Then Drew, our, mix engineer, he recorded him. And you know what's funny? In all of this, Wiz, he don't jackpot. He left us in the studio and went to sleep. You guys said. Yeah. So the next morning, I came back to the studio to hear what Skep did, and I heard it first. I was like, jeez. So as everybody heard it, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the hardest verse ever. Yeah. Then Wiz recorded his chorus. Then we had two verses from Skepta and the chorus from Wiz. Then the song was just in the hard drives for a while. But I was like, this song is so hard. Like, why don't they want to release this song? And I think I remember one time, Wiz wanted to just even put the song on SoundCloud for free as a freestyle or something. And I'm so glad that didn't happen. Then one day, I think I DM'd Skepta like, what's up with this song? And he was like, he wants to do a third verse. And he doesn't have the beat. So I was like, can I send you the beat to record the third verse? He said he wants that I should give him space for the third verse with the song, and he would finish it. I didn't have the data because I didn't record it, so I had to orchestrate. I had to call the engineer, and Ellie he was like, just chop the beats. I just create the verse for him and everything so he can record the third verse. Then I think he now sent it to Mute. I think it was Mute that recorded that third verse. And after I recorded it, that's when they now plan to release it. And when I heard that third verse, I was like, yo, that's the hardest verse ever. Facts. Yeah, that verse is so hard. That's one song I think I know from start to finish. Every line, it's so hard. And that's how the song came to be. Yeah, but it wasn't planned. It wasn't even supposed to happen. Yeah. And sometimes, the best things are like that. Happen unplanned. The best things. A lot of songs I made that I didn't really plan, that turned out to be really amazing. Not saying the ones I planned didn't turn out amazing as well, but I'm just saying some, you just never know. Yeah. Just go with the flow. Yeah, just go with the flow. What's the worst that can happen? Just do it.
I think that's what I'm gonna call this podcast.
What's the worst that can happen?
Bro. Okay, so I said something at the beginning because I want to end it like this, right? I said you said something to me that basically changed my life.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't think if I didn't hear that from you, obviously God used you to tell me, but if I didn't hear that, I don't think I'll be where I am now. So do you remember that time we went for that Martel P? We had some Martel P, we had some rocks like this. We were just gisting, and I was lamenting to you, based off my breakup, you understand? And I was pouring my heart out, bro. I was like, yo, this industry doesn't want niggas if they're real, da 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 da. And you were just looking at me like this. The same way you were looking at Shizzy, during the professors, you were just looking at me like
my
this.
bro.
Shout out Shizzy. But yeah, I was just looking at him because I was like, is this guy even listening to what I'm saying? then you now said something to me. He said, no, do you know what your problem is? I said, what? He said, you love people more than they love themselves. Bro, when you said that thing to me, it's like glass broke in my head. I was like, oh, damn. When we said, I know they give a man more than what he deserves. Bro, like, the way that line hits my chest, it connects to what you said then.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm actually not Jesus Christ. I can't carry that cross. I have to actually give myself the love and then implement what I can based off what they allow. And bro, ever since I started doing that, I kind of used that as a compass, like self-love as a compass, and it navigated me to the point where I am where I am today. Thank Jesus. So thanks, bro. Cheers, criminal. So I think this is an epic podcast episode. Like, bro, we can speak forever and ever.
There's so much we can even talk about, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, maybe we'll do part 2. Maybe we'll bring Loji on, or just whatever. We can run it in different ways, you know.
Or not even talk about music.
Yeah,
there's so much.
Just life,
bro.
We'll do another one for sure.
Yeah.
We for sure will. Maybe even another country stuff, because UAR is killing the vibes, bro.
It actually is.
Oh, bro.
Fellow Urarians.
No. We're out. Thank you very much. Peace, guys.